Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for February 18th to 24th. This week I read one book, I watched 4 TV shows, and I listened to one book. I also DNF'd my first book of 2018, and that was All the Natural Things by Charlotte Wood. This wasn't an overly long book at just over 300 pages, but I tapped out at page 122. This book is about a group of women who have been in the news due to sex scandals or rape accusations who find themselves on a compound in the middle of the Australian desert. They have a couple of guards and no way to escape. The premise sounded interesting when I heard Russell over at Ink and Paper Blog talk about it, but I couldn't get into the writing. It didn't compel me to read it, and every time I picked it up I felt like I'd been reading for forever without making any progress. So I stopped, because reading is supposed to be enjoyable, and this wasn't. The first book I did finish this week was Young Jane Young by Gabrielle Zevin. This is a book I've been meaning to pick up for a while because I really enjoyed the storied life of A.J. Fickery by this author, and Chelsea over at Chelsea Darling Reads is obsessed with this book. This book is told from a few different points of view as well as in a few different styles. It concerns an intern who has a brief fling with a married congressman and how it impacts their lives and those around them when the truth comes out. We start with the point of view of the intern's mother and move on to see the intern move out of state and change her name so she can get a job, whereas the congressman is just fine. There's a section told in emails to a pen pal and another set up as a choose-your-own-adventure with a path she didn't take crossed out. It was enjoyable to put together the pieces of the puzzle from these different perspectives, and see how mistakes have different ripple effects for different people. If you're looking for an examination of gender inequality or a book told in an alternative format, pick this one up. Our Tuesday night dinner club caught up on Riverdale, Season 2, Episode 13, and one of the shady adults that I've been yelling at for the entire season got even shadier. There's just no one who isn't shady as all get out on this show. We also watched episodes 6 and 7 of Survivor, mostly in which Rich walks around naked and people start talking about the merger, which made us cackle because that's not what they call it anymore, it's the merge. Being as I was still sort of sick this week, I watched entire seasons of the following 2 shows. First, I watched the 3rd season of How to Get Away with Murder. I'd seen and loved the first 2 seasons and just hadn't realized that the 3rd season had come to Netflix. I needed to skip back through some of the plot points in the 2nd season just to remember what was going on, and rewatch the final episode of that season just to make sure the plot points were fresh in my mind. This, of course, is another show where no one is innocent. At the end of the season opener, you know someone dies in 6 weeks, which has been the format of the show, and it's always so remarkably well done. The show slowly reveals details about the character who has died, and shows characters to mark them off your mental checklist. And the misdirection is well played. The show is written in a way where you want the next episode or season immediately, which means I'm trying to stop my brain from obsessing over the end of this season. If you like puzzles and stunning acting and messy interpersonal plots, this is a show for you. The other season that I watched in entirety was Orphan Black, the 5th and final season. The show is extremely well put together and superbly acted, not just by Tatiana Maslany, who plays about half the characters, but by the rest of the cast as well. The conflicts and resolutions in this season were everything I wanted out of it. I can't believe I didn't hear more people talking about this show while it was airing. If you've never heard about this show, it starts with a woman getting off a train and seeing someone who looks exactly like her. From there, it's a fast-paced story of family, discovery, and survival, and I highly recommend picking it up. This week I listened to The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Fun fact, this book has been on my TBR list on Goodreads for the longest. It's been there since 2013, and I was finally happy to pick it up for my local Nerdfighter book club. This is a magical book that follows a traveling circus that is only open at night. The circus serves as a venue for 2 protégés to show their magical talents, as their teachers bound them to this competition as children. Although Jim Dale did a great job narrating this book, I feel like I would have enjoyed it or absorbed more of it if I read it in physical form. The plot jumps around in time and location often, and since there are a lot of characters, I found myself zoning out in a way that I wouldn't if the words were right in front of me. Imagining what the circus would look like was a lot of fun, and I love that this narrative also included a fandom element. There was a group of people dedicated to following the circus around the world whenever money allowed. This novel also originated as a NaNoWriMo project, which fills me with great joy. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, please let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you next time. Bye!